What is up, guys? Chris here, Bear Market Mining. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to tackle a question I've been getting a ton lately. What is the best Alephium home miner? So if you're into Alephium or just looking for a new mining project, you'll want to stick around because today we're going to compare some of the top home miners currently available, including the AL0, Goldshell AL-Box, AL-Box II, and the new AL-Box II Plus. By the end of this video, you'll have a better idea of which miner is right for you. So let's get straight into it. So first up, let's look at our contenders. Here we have the IceRiver Al0. This has been just released about the last week or so. I know some content creators got them a little earlier, but all the resellers and all the people who bought off IceRiver are receiving these now. So they're going online as we speak. So we'll run through the specs a little bit. You can see the price here, $799. This is USD, of course. And we can see our hash rate, 400 gigahash, give or take 5%. Generally that fluctuates up and down, more to the downside if you're running them cooler and more to the upside if you're running them a little warmer, around the 80 degrees or so. Next up, we have the Goldshell AL-Box. This is the original AL-Box. This has been out for a few months now. 360 gigahash at 180 watts. Once again, disclaimers, plus or minus 5%. I don't find the gigahash on this fluctuates really at all. Mine sits at right at about 360. It's pretty much spot on. That could be the silicone lottery though. So these are really good, high quality units. The Goldshell units, in my opinion, definitely better quality than the AL0, but they are a little more expensive, and we'll talk about price tags and things like that at the very end. But for now, we'll just keep getting through what we're comparing today. Next up, we have the Goldshell AL-Box II. So this is exactly two of the AL-Box 1s when it comes to power draw and gigahash. Really good units. I have one of these as well, top quality, and it's been hashing away ever since I got that. That came out about a month or so ago now, maybe a little bit more. It did take a while for the AL-Box 1 to upgrade to the AL-Box 2, but twice the hash rate and twice the power, giving it the same efficiency numbers. Next up, we do have the AL-Box II Plus. Now, this is not a double of the AL-Box 1 or the AL-Box 2, but sort of somewhere in between. So we can see these are sold out. These are not yet shipped as far as I know, but I do have one of these being tested right now for a profit and hash rate video. So make sure you stay tuned for that in about a week or so. You can see this is getting, if we scroll down further, 1 terahash. So what's that? About 380 gigahash more than the previous, and using 120 more watts. So this does work out slightly more efficient. And look at the price tag here, 1,700 bucks. So Goldshell have done a really good job of competing with the AL0 as far as pricing is concerned. Like we said, we can see 480 watts, 1 terahash, give or take the 5%, and you'll get that same quality Goldshell build with these units. Next up, let's take a look at the current profitability according to ASICminervalue.com. Now, I have put probably an abnormal electricity rate. Most people won't be getting 10 cents USD, probably anywhere more realistically around the 15 cent. But just for the sake of this experiment, we'll keep them all exactly the same at the 10 cents it comes with. You can see the income, $4.51, electricity, 24 cents. Now this is only using 100 watts, so a really, really efficient miner. And you'll see at the numbers at the end, this is the most efficient out of the lot. And it is also the cheapest, but what it lacks in price, it lacks in hash rate as well, only 400 gigahash. But we can see already these have been price dropped. These are about $899, I think, on the first release, already dropped down to $715. Now you can jump on here on ASICminervalue.com and choose where you would like to go. Everyone on here is verified, so a good source if you're looking to buy. Over to the AL-Box 1, we can see it has a slightly lower income and a slightly lower profit than its predecessor, the AL0. Now, obviously, slightly less hash rate, slightly more power, so not as efficient. But as I mentioned previously, I'm almost positive in my opinion, these will outlast the IceRiver units. I've got multiple of each. This thing hasn't skipped a beat for me yet, while already my a couple of my IceRiver units, the fans are starting to whine a little bit, and a few other little bits and pieces going on there. Same again, you can see that these have dropped price dramatically from where they were around a month or so ago. These were around $3 grand or $2,500 USD. So huge big price drop. Goldshell doing its best to compete with the mass production of IceRiver. Hard to do, but a good unit. So what it lacks for in the profitability, for now, you will get the longevity. And remember, guys, this is just my opinion. I really like Goldshell units. I am working with them as well. Full disclaimer. But if you want to buy both and do your own tests, you can. I'm telling you, in my experience, a much better quality unit. Now, if you're only concerned about hash rate and efficiency and all that, then you do you, but you know, lifespan is important as well, as far as I'm concerned. The Al-Box 2, more profitable than the AL0 and the Goldshell 1, the original Goldshell unit. We can see $8.12 on the income, $7.25 on the profit, and you know, this is where you start to see some nice numbers. 2,922 on the income, 2,600 as far as the profit is concerned over a year, and that's at current prices. Now remember, hash rate is going to go up more and more and more, and if you look at the pricing on these, really competitive. Obviously so close to the price of the Al-Box 1, it's almost not worth considering buying that Al-Box 1 now, unfortunately. They may need to drop the price a little bit more, because most people, if you've got the money, will go straight for the Al-Box 2 if you had to choose between both of them. But obviously, if you're limited in what you can spend, Al-Box 1, still a great unit. Last but certainly not least, we've got the Al-Box II Plus. This is the latest Al-Box version coming out from Goldshell and in the home miner category. They do have the ALEK1M or something, I think it's called, which is an 1800 watt unit that is yet to be released, but I haven't put that in this experiment. Because as far as I'm concerned, 1800 watts kind of puts it out of the everyday user, especially, you know, for the Americans on 120 volt, pretty hard to pull 1800 watts. It does have a low power mode, but you know, for the sake of today, we've left that one out. It also comes with a hefty price tag, about 5 grand, I think is what they're speccing. So yeah, them's the breaks. So the Al-Box II Plus, $11.27 on the income, $10.12 profit. So really good profit at the moment. As we said previously, that hash rate will go up, but so will the price of Alephium, if you ask me. So a really great buy. I've got one of these testing, like I said, at the moment, so I'll let you know if you're interested. Stay tuned. You can see what the weekly profit is after all of that hash rate comes online, and then you look at the price tags here, straight from Goldshell, $1,700. Can't go wrong. Same thing we said about the Al-Box 2 compared to the Al-Box 1. I'll say again about the Al-Box 2 Plus to the Al-Box 2. If you've got the money, this is also slightly more efficient than the Al-Box 2. This is where my money would be going. So jumping on over here now to minetheasic.com, which is a different ASIC miner pricing and efficiency website. They have a cool metric here that you don't see a lot of people use. I'm not using this in my final graph, but I wanted to show you anyway. So you can see here, we've got a few of the different Alephium miners. You can also see this EAL1M in here, 1800 watts, 4.4 gigahash. So it's a big boy unit, $42 per day at the moment. But they've got a price conversion here, so dollars per kilowatt hour. So this is how much you're going to profit after you're using a kilowatt per day, or however many kilowatts per unit per day. So just a cool metric. We can see, as we would expect, the Al-Box and Al-Box 2, the same efficiency numbers. And then the Al-Box 2 Plus gets slightly better. And the AL0 from IceRiver is really much more efficient than all of them combined. At $1.78 per kilowatt hour. So if efficiency is your target, then that is probably the way to go. But like I said, we'll see how long these things last. Now, I hope they last a really long time for everyone's sake involved. Just having a few of them and some of the little issues that are already happening, you know, on my case, so ultras and things like that. And we'll have to see. The time will be the test, and if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But now that we've done a bit of a run through of what miners will be looking at and comparing today, let's jump on over. I've put all these numbers in a spreadsheet with a few different metrics so you can decide what the best option for you is. So let's have a look at the raw data. So I've put together a pretty basic spreadsheet for you, including some of the more important metrics as far as I'm concerned, so you can make a decision based off what you can see here. So if we look in the left column and we're looking at efficiency, now this isn't a gigahash per watt metric, but how many gigahash per watt you're going to get per unit. So pretty obvious to see the IceRiver Al0, as we've said over and over again previously, it is by far the most efficient unit. Double the Al-Box and Al-Box II when it comes to efficiency. So if that's what you're looking for, the Al-Box II is the place to go. But if it is total yield, you know, the higher the hash rate, the Al-Box II Plus is the winner. And as I've said, that's where my head's at the moment. Now, the next metric we will look at is the cost per gigahash. So this is how much you're going to spend in dollar value to get a gigahash, right? Pretty self-explanatory. So we can see actually the AL0 and the Al-Box II are pretty similar here. So the IceRiver is obviously cheaper, but it does get less hash rate than the Al-Box II, $1.78 and $1.88 respectively in the cost per gigahash metric. The poor old Al-Box, like we said, hard to compete, $3.04 per gigahash. So some price reductions going to be needed if these want to sell, or they may not be selling them anymore. I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't actually find them on the Goldshell website. Resellers do have them, so I'd be surprised if these are still being sold. But the clear winner, slightly better than the Al-Box II, is the Al-Box II Plus. The Al-Box II pricing is really good for its output at the moment, but the Al-Box II Plus, probably another 10% better, if that, 5 to 10%. I can't math right now. I'm a bit brain AFK, so you can see the numbers, they don't lie. $1.69 per gigahash. So not only is this going to get you the highest revenue, it's also the best bang for buck as far as all four of these miners are concerned in the cost per gigahash metric. Finally, looking at the current daily profitability, the Al-Box II Plus is the clear winner here, right? It is slightly more efficient than the Al-Box and Al-Box II, not as efficient as the AL0, but it is 2.5 times higher revenue than the Goldshell, but it does use a little bit more power. So we can see $9.53 at current prices. Now, if you believe in price appreciation of Alephium like I do, then this is where I'd be going for the profit metric, and because it has the highest revenue. So if the cost per gigahash is the best, the daily profit is the best, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best buy at the moment. And then you throw in that superior build quality. And I'll state again, in my opinion, I'm by no means a technician. I haven't pulled these things apart and, you know, looked at all the bits inside, but you know, you can do a bit of the eye test and see where the quality lies here. So Al-Box II, clear winner when it comes to cost per gigahash and daily profit. But if it's efficiency, the AL0, it's where it's at. But let's do a little recap. So a couple of the pros and cons. The AL0 from IceRiver, it's the cheapest and it's the most efficient and it is the smallest, right? So probably the best entry point into Alephium if you're not trying to go, you know, all out and spend a ton of money. This is the cheapest and most efficient way to get into it and to start stacking some Alephium now. And believe me, you want to get in. If you're going to get into Alephium at all, now's the time, because that hash rate is blowing up second by second, hour by hour. So AL0, a really good start for the price point. So the Al-Box and Al-Box II. If you're going for revenue purely, I would pick with the Al-Box II. Twice the hash rate, and it is twice the electricity, so you're not going to be suffering as far as efficiency is concerned when it comes to comparing both of them, the Al-Box 1 and 2. The price point is better on the Al-Box 2 as well. So if you had to choose between those two, the efficiency is the same, the hash rate is better. My vote would go with the Al-Box 2. But of course, if daily expenditure in electricity is an issue, then the AL-Box 1, the original AL-Box, is a great starter point as well. Like I said, compared to the AL0, in my opinion, much better build quality, and I'm sure you will get longer lifespan out of them. Finally, the AL-Box II Plus. Now, this is the winner as far as I'm concerned. It's got the best price point, the cost per gigahash, not as efficient as the AL0, but we're beating a broken record here. Nothing is. So take that with a grain of salt. AL-Box 2 is going to get you the most Alephium as quick as possible, and it's going to do it slightly more efficiently than the original two predecessors, the AL-Box and AL-Box 2. So let me know which direction you guys are going to go. As we've said, my vote's the AL-Box 2 Plus, but you know, those AL0s, good price point, good efficiency. Let me know what you guys want to do, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.